Hi, I'm Robbie Northman, and some of you will have seen my chub lure fishing videos on the Savage Gear YouTube already. I quite frequently get asked for tips on fishing for chub, so here are my top 5, with some extras of course. Hope you enjoy. One of the most important things I've found when fishing for chub with lures is using the right balanced outfit. Now for me, a rod with a soft tip and medium action is absolutely perfect for chub. I want a very forgiving rod, something that can absorb the lunges as a fish runs and dives for cover, but I also want a little bit of backbone there as well for when I need it. Rods in the 2 to 10 to 3 to 10 gram range seem to be capable of subduing the biggest of chub. That soft action will help eliminate hook pulls. Chub have very fleshy mouths and sometimes the hook holds aren't great. It's easy to pull free. Often they'll shake the lures in the net, and a rod with a softer tip coupled with a reel that's got a well set drag will help you land a lot more fish. So with covered rods, now here's how I like to use them. One of the things I learnt, very sorely in fact, when I started fishing for chub is how easy it is to pull a lure straight out of their mouths. See, chub have a very big cavernous mouth, but they don't have a lot of like edges or anything to really catch on. So when a chub is facing towards you particularly, it's very easy to just pull that hook clean out of its mouth and you'd wonder if the fish took it at all. Now what I like to do, particularly when I'm fishing with crankbaits and surface lures, is allow the chub to take the lure and I'll either pause before giving it a gentle set or don't set at all. Quite often the chub will swallow a lure, turn down or turn around, and the resistance of that nice soft rod coupled with the light drag will allow the fish to hook itself. Well, that brings us on to lures and colour. Colour's a funny subject. Some people love bright, some love dark. For many people it's just a confidence thing. One thing I have found though is that when colours aren't working, try black. Black casts an extremely bold silhouette against any kind of skyline, and it helps the fish key into your lure. Now, you'll notice in a lot of my videos that I'm using either the black cicada or a dull coloured lure like the goby crank. At times a year, a flash of red perhaps, or even silver or blue can be quite effective, but certainly if you haven't given it a go before, try out a black lure. Surface lures. Well, I absolutely love my surface lure fishing, and although I use a trace where pike are present, very often I'll fish fluorocarbon. Now I like to go quite heavy with my fluorocarbon, between 10 and 15 pound. The reason I do that is because I'm fishing over the reeds and in amongst the snags rather than wading, and when you're pulling a fish through that repetitively, a light fluorocarbon can give way very quickly. So I go for heavier fluorocarbons to eliminate that problem. They bring their own issues though. A heavier fluorocarbon sinks. So one thing I like to do is carry a little pot of line grease or floatant and just grease that fluorocarbon section above the surface there. That'll stop it bowing and it will help you pick up your lures and get them moving quicker. The other thing I like to do when surface lure fishing is do away with those clunky clips. I like to tie directly on with a non-slip loop knot. That knot forms a nice loop that's fixed and it allows the lure to rock, roll and swing without causing any extra weight to make the front of your lure dip. In fact, when using a non-slip loop you can even do away with the split ring on most lures. find these stalking. When targeting chub on small rivers, they're super aware of their surroundings. It's very difficult to get close to a chub without a chub noticing you. Even though they may not initially spook, quite often they're aware of your presence and just glide away when fished for. I like to try and work from downstream up if it's possible. If not, it's all about keeping a low profile. When moving into swims, I try and move slow and steadily. I try and keep myself tucked below the bankside cover. If you use the cover to your advantage, it's surprising just how close you can get to fish and how close to your feet you can get that take. When everything goes right and those fish don't realise you've come into close quarters with them, boy, can you have some exciting moments. On this occasion, I'd crept into the swim, saw a fish, made a cast, bullied it in quite quick and pulled it away from the shoal, managed to land it through some thick weeds. The lure pops out in the net, and while it's there I think, oh, I'll just flick again. Boom, second fish within moments. That doesn't happen often.
There we go.
Talk about a manic moment. I had a cast, spotted some fish, and straight away one chunky chub straight from the swim. Hook came out in the net, so I quickly flicked out a second one, and lo and behold, two chunky chubbies in that hole. Now that's fantastic. Let's sit these back. Now I like to rest my chub in the net in the current before letting them go, particularly in summer, just to give them a chance to reoxygenate and get their bearings back before I release them.